We live? Yeah, we live. Man, this StreamYard, man, I don't know what's going on with this. And I'm over here struggle screaming right now. My audio kind of hectic in the back. Yeah, but I mean, go ahead and chop out this beginning right here. Yeah, I mean, pretty much for the most part, it's just some stuff that needs to be said. Let me see, can I get to this place over here? For the most part, man, it's rough right now for a lot of people. And, it's not making life and liberty and all this other stuff that people talk about, situation no better. I'm trying to basically make time get to a better spot so the audio will be better. Probably like the first couple of minutes I'm gonna have to cut out on this video. Maybe wait till I get to, it's about 3 minutes in to cut all this out. Because I know the audio is gonna be horrible at the beginning. I have to come back and edit all this out at the beginning. And my notifications are dropping. Okay. Not counting the bill. Alright, so look like the notification bells and stuff are working. Alright, so I'm about to get ready to jump into it. What's going on, Tom? Alright, man. So basically, the reason I'm doing this live right here is appreciate that, man. Basically, I'm doing this live to focus more on the housing market because nobody's basically talking about it. You know, right now we at a deficit to where you know a lot of people are going to be in a position of being homeless. You know, the first step is start staying in these lodges or hotels, which the rent on those things is so expensive. It's to the point like why even stay there? You know, knew some people. What was it? Damn near 1,300. No, it was like I think it was 13. No, no, no. I'm sorry, 1,600 a month. 1,600 a month. So I was paying like four something every week for a lodge to stay there. Like I think about 430 or so. So it was even close to what 17 and some change. And they were paying that monthly compared to a house. They have the money to have a house, but they don't qualify for a house. That's the crazy part. A lot of people fail to realize that most majority of the time, if you have a money for an apartment, you have a money for the lodges and stuff that people stay in, they can pretty much stay in a house. It's just that you don't qualify to get a house. That's the biggest thing where a lot of people are thinking that, people are broke or people are this. No, you just don't qualify. Your credit might be bad, debt to income ratio, there are people who have Mercedes Benzes and, all these nice luxury cars staying in apartments because they spend above their means and really can't afford a house at that point. Then the people that can afford a house that stay in an apartment with these luxury cars, they're just doing it to keep up with the Joneses. So you got to actually understand, like, what is your main, focus? Do you want to live life to show off, or like, what is your main focus in life? A lot of people fail at that aspect. That's why we have more people staying, in apartments, lodges, and rentals. Majority of the time they can afford it, but just the problem lies the budgeting. I was watching a pod yesterday, and the person was talking about how they was never taught certain things of budgeting. So if you wasn't taught certain things and how to budget money, how can you be successful at it? You know, that's one of the biggest key things that a lot of people fail to realize. You know, if I'm not that good at marketing, let's say not marketing, but if I'm not that good at budgeting my money, what's going to happen? I'm going to overspend. I'm always going to be in debt. And it's to the point that a lot of people fell on that with ownership because, you know, most of the people are one paycheck from, being out the door. When it comes down to it, you have people that work jobs 10 years, 5 years, or whatever. If that job just say, well, I don't even want this employee here no more, what could they do? I mean, honestly, how many people really do have job security? Unless you've made your own business and that business is successful, what can you combat or fight against in this market right now? You know, because when it comes down to it, a job can just let you go on any principle. They don't like you. They don't like the way your shoes look. You know, there's nothing like enforcing, holding these jobs accountable for their actions the way they do people because you're working for them. You would literally have to start your own business just for you to have something, to sustain life because you're taking care of yourself. You have kids as well. A lot of people don't realize, budgeting, saving money for a rainy day, that's always a plus for, your kids and throughout. How many people pretty much all, live paycheck to paycheck? They're literally one paycheck away from being on the street. There's a lot of people who live like that. Literally one paycheck from being on the street. There's a lot of people, you know, who budget, to the T, where they barely have any money to live off of. I mean, constantly seeing movies and shows about this. I mean, just having an understanding. This is real life. A lot of people think this fake, but it's real life. Sorry about that kind of call. But mainly, you got to understand, there's a lot of people, that they call house poor, literally paycheck to paycheck, hoping and wishing that they can see their next meal and, see worth in that. How many people literally go throughout life prepared for everything? That's why I always talk about generational wealth and having life insurance, and I'm always going to push this because that's the closest thing next to buying a house that you're going to pass wealth on to the kids and sustain, some type of money for yourself. You know, for instance, we have a lot of people that, are not looking at this, far down the line. Buying a house is a great thing because let's say you stay in an apartment. You're making somebody else rich. You're renting. You're making somebody else rich. Due to inflation, that house that you're staying in, let's say the rent on that house was $800. Due to inflation, they can go up, almost $2,000. But that doesn't take away from that 30-year mortgage still being $800. I know some people right now that have homes they rent. Literally, the house they got is $1,200. They're house hacking and renting out the rooms. $1,200. They rent out the rooms for $700. 4-bedroom house for $700. You, I mean, just doing the math. 28 already. They don't got to pay. I mean, for the most part, the utilities and stuff, they paying these utilities, but just that 1,200 sustaining life, that's just something a lot of people not really looking at, you know. And then you gotta understand, due to, like I say, due to inflation, it goes up. So for the most part, you looking at paying seven a room on a $1,200 property. But I mean, you look at the point where at, let's say, the first 10, you look at the first 10, you're going up, you know what I'm saying, to from 1,200, and let's say you just rent the whole house out. Most of the time, if your mortgage is 1,200, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna rent the house out for another $300 more than what your house is worth or better. Some people can sustain rent it out for 15. Some people might want a little more and say, well, I'm gonna rent it out for let's just say 18. So on 12, you're making $600 every month. Then you turn around and do the numbers. You got this mortgage for 30 years. So 30 years due to inflation, that house is steady gonna go up, steady going up. So that's in the first 10, you might get six. The housing market gets crazy. And after that, let's say you going, Chad, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a long time. But let's just run down the numbers going into um year 20 of owning a home. Housing market crazy, people buying and selling like crazy. Right now, you at 28 for that rental property. You're still paying 12, but you're renting the whole house out for 28. Let's say year 30. I mean, the market takes a dive, you know, you already have your renters in there. Maybe, they want to go somewhere else to get a cheaper rate because they've been paying 28 for a couple of years and now it's up to 32, you know. And they say, well, it's not worth it in this area to pay 32, but at the same time, where they going to go to find something cheaper, unless they go into, a low impoverished area, then it's going to be cheaper. But look at the market. Let's say going into year 30, almost into year 30 of actually getting ready to pay the house off. You're renting that house out for 35, maybe even 38, but you're still paying $1,200. I literally know this guy, he just sold his house. Paid 250 for the house, real nice. I think it was like 6 acres or something. He's paying he paid 250 for the house originally. He refinanced it a few times, but when he ended up selling the house, he sold the house for 550. you know, and after fees and everything and paying the rest, he probably generally walked away. Not saying 300,000, but he probably generally walked away with 200. After him paying for so long, paying the fees and everything associated with selling the house, probably walked away with about 250. The point is, all that time having that, he had the house for at least over 15 years. Look how much money he accrued over 15 years off of owning that house. He could have kept that house, got even more money down the line. But the thing is, right now, it's a bad time to buy a house unless you're going in rural areas. Then you got to look at the different loans that you can take advantage of being in that rural area. The urban loan, the interest rate on the house is a whole lot cheaper. And a lot of people are not looking at suit to the point, when is the best time to buy? When is the best time? There's never a best time. Most time people are waiting on the market to crash. And if you don't have that physical money on hand to seize while they say strike while the iron is hot, you pretty much gonna be waiting the next couple of years. I'm gonna show this video I got off Facebook where the guy back in the I think 70s or something, he was saying he's waiting on the market. When the housing bubble popped, like in 2008, when the housing market was going crazy and people were losing their houses, the guy was like, "Oh man, I'm not buying now. I mean, the housing market is crazy. People losing houses, inflation, this and that. Didn't want to buy." Same thing happened during the pandemic. Nobody wanted to buy during the pandemic. When is the best time to buy? The best time is now. Because who knows, due to inflation a couple of years from now, you might can't even be able to afford an apartment. Your best option is might to just only to rent. I mean, look at Cali right now. I mean, that's going to be worldwide spread. What is it, Skid Row, where the place where a lot of the people sleeping in tents and stuff, and they're going to work, making money. I've seen in some areas like Seattle where they built tiny homes for the homeless, and it's a tiny home community. They're running it. Some people are on drugs, some people just mismanage money, and a lot of people just got to the status of being homeless, like I said earlier in this, to where literally just don't know how to budget money. This I watch all the time ATL street interviews, Atlanta street interviews. And on that Atlanta street interview, there was this young lady. She was making, I think she said her son was a eight to $10,000 a month closely. And when it came down to it, she became homeless because she didn't know how to manage her money. She had a successful business braiding hair. She was from the islands, difficult situation with family members, and she was down here in Atlanta and ended up being homeless. But her family's from Maryland. And the guy always asks the people that are homeless, if your family members or somebody who loves you see this situation, would they actually care to help and get you off the street? And that's one of the biggest things. A lot of those people have burnt bridges with family members. Back in the day, it wasn't even about just me owning my home and not letting nobody come stay with me who fall on hard times. You know, I've actually let my brother stay with me several times. You know, he got bad. He's my older brother. Got to a situation where he didn't have nowhere to stay. He stayed with me several times till he got back on his feet, or situations panned out where me and him were bumping heads. But for the most part, you know, he stayed with me. Families are not doing that anymore. You know, if you screw up, you just screwed up. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. You having situations on you. That's your fault. You got to deal with it. You're grown. That's what's being pushed right now. to the point. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand, man. You gotta, move a certain way. And like I say, with this market being what it is, a lot of people don't want to be homeless, but to an extent, you're not gonna have an option if you don't start working with your family members and friends. You know, start getting a planned demise. I seen this young girl up in, I think it was Baltimore. She paid $900,000 for a building and had 3 units. And out of the 3 units, I think it had 3 or 4 bedrooms in each of the units. So they devised a plan to where everybody came, the family, she was going to rent it out to just strangers, and the family came together and stayed in the building. Even though her name is on everything, no fighting, no arguing. Everybody's paying about $600 a month for, pretty much all the bills, utilities, mortgage, and all included. And they're living comfortably. Why can't we do that? Why can't we go back to that? You know, quite sure if she was smart and the family was smart, they all talk, they would have some type of contingency plan to where if something ever happens to her, they can sell the house and the proceeds to be split evenly, or keep the house in the family name and make it to where someone's like a trustee to sign off on certain things that benefit the house. And if something was to happen to people, you would have a line to where everybody will know, well, this person's next in line. They're more business savvy than us, so that's the person. A lot of people do this all the time throughout different areas, different cultures. But when are we going to get to the point where we're working together for the greater good? It's only getting harder out here. And for a lot of people, homeless is going to be an option. You know, not saying I'm, away from it. I do my best. I work. I'm no savvy person that, to the point where I can't be affected by this as well. You know, like I said, even though I have, business I work through for myself, but still, I also work for another company. I talked about this on Dr. Dunbar's channel, Big Discussion 76. You know, your 9 to 5 pays for my 5 to 9. And that's what a lot of people got to understand. Start doing side hustles. People always, getting on me about all my hustles that I do, but I sustain life. A jack of all trade and a master of none, to the point where I can put myself in a situation and get out of it easy. You know, I got material things that I can also sell. You know, uh, for instance, my wife, I joke with her about her chain she bought. About a real nice gold chain. I was like, this chain is worth a lot of money. She was like, yeah, it is. That's an investment. I know she loved that chain, but if times get hard, that chain is an investment that I can cash out on. I have other things that I can cash out on as well. So not only, to a point, I'm not holding on to things. I had a cousin that, it was crazy. He was into selling things, pretty much flea market style, selling and buying and stuff like that, units. To at one point, he came in his house, sold everything down to the TV, and left the kids' beds and bought it all back. So the material things that we hold on to, if you get kicked out your house, you get put out, what are those things worth to you? Putting them in storage, to where storage you can't pay for anyway. You need to have a yard sale. I never understand that with most people. You would sit here and take all. I've seen this man who was rich, crazy. This guy was like, he let his storage unit go with all his possessions. Only thing he wanted out of there was his brother Letterman jacket. I think he said his brother Letterman jacket, his yearbook, and his laptop. No, that wasn't yearbook. It was his laptop and his Letterman jacket. That was it. Everything else he let go. Dude said he had a collection of Jordans. He had different A&R records that he produced or help people get on. All that stuff meant nothing at the end of the day. And he just let it all go. Started all over in life. Had a bag of clothes and that was it. Why he didn't have that mentality to sell that stuff? Mostly everything you have in possession has a price on it for somebody. The term one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know, someone is willing to buy majority of the stuff people are just letting go, just letting somebody seize. Even with houses, you have family members that pass. A lot of times a lot of their stuff, sell it off. Why put it in storage? Or just throw it away, sell it, make some money. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here because I gotta move and make money myself. And to, like I said, man, stay focused on your craft. You know, I don't want anybody to really be house poor, put themselves in a situation to where they literally just out. You know what I'm saying? Stay the course, learn things. I'm always trying to, like, Udemy, all these different, sites in it, like just coding. I want to dibble and dabble into some of everything so I can be a jack of all trades. I can get into anything, any market. Driving is one of the easiest things I've done, but if I want to get into IT, I have no choice. I'm going to IT. So, like I said, just a lot of people need to prepare themselves. You know, it's only going to get harder. Not even saying that it's going to get better. It's going to get harder. You know, I've listened to an old video that Kevin had when he was talking to this lady. And basically, he was saying to the extent to where every year you was in school, it didn't get easier. You had to learn more. You had to apply yourself to actually take on things. And that's the thing, man. A lot of people got to focus on the money. A lot of people got to focus on yourself. That's why I'm more or less talking about the money aspect and talking about you applying yourself. Better health for you, knowing who you are. Self-awareness, because you need the aspect of you not having knowledge and yourself. That's the key thing. A lot of people fail on those two departments. Having knowledge of self, just being motivated to make the money. No, we're not taught this. A lot of people come out the gate losing in life because our parents dropped the ball, or just in general, we dropped the ball because we're not educating ourselves. We can't even blame our parents no more to an extent. We dropped the ball for ourselves. So we're dropping the ball for the next generation, which is our kids and our grandkids. So, like I say, we got to stay fast, get things accomplished in life. And we can't do that just, what I'm saying, hoping and wishing on YouTube and looking at funny videos. Like I said, be entertained is cool, but gain some knowledge at times. Being entertained is not a problem, but you still have to retain some type of knowledge. You can't live on entertainment, because once this laptop, computer, whatever you looking at goes off of YouTube, social media, the outside world needs money in order to survive. You can't live off of love, you know. So, like I said, gonna get ready to jump off of here. And shout out to everyone that came through. And like I keep saying, man, focus on the money. You know, Red Pill, find that. Shout out to you. I see you dropped the video. So once I get done with this, I'm gonna go over there and jump over there and look at your video, man. I'm gonna go over there and straight look it up. So, like I said, I might even go ahead and share it in my community tab for a lot of people. I got the community tab now, so I'm gonna be posting a lot of people's videos and sharing. So stay tuned. Till next time, like always, we here. Shout out to everybody coming in. We here, like I say. hit on the replay. Shout out once again. We here and we gone.